You ever feel like life is stacked against you? Your kids are acting out, your job seems like it's a dead end, life just doesn't seem like it's going your way? If so, honestly, you might be playing the victim card without even realizing it. This is because you're focusing on things that you cannot control, and when you do that, you're actually giving away all your power. But here's the truth, it's not just the situations or the people around you, it's where you're putting your energy every single second. Every single time that you focus on something that's beyond your control, you're draining yourself and making it a lot harder for you to even move forward. That's where the circle of concern and the circle of influence comes in. The larger circle is the circle of concern. Those are the things that you honestly have no influence over. Stuff like the weather, the news, political issues, natural disasters, other people's behaviors or how other people think about you, the economy, social media feeds, war. This is stuff that you tend to focus a lot of your time on, but you honestly have no control over. The inner circle is called the circle of influence. These are the things that you actually can control. You can control your attitude, your behavior, what you buy, who you surround yourself with, what you actually watch and read. I've changed my social media feed significantly, rewriting my algorithm, just honestly unfollowing certain people and just searching for more positive shit. As you look at this chart, just think for a second and think about where are you spending a lot of your energy. And then I want you to think, where do you think proactive people are focusing their energy? The inner circle, exactly. And then what about reactive people? Where do you think they're focusing a lot of their energy on? The outer circle. Now, why is that? Seriously, think about it. It's because honestly, they're choosing to become the victim. I know it seems harsh, but once you can accept and understand what you're doing, is honestly when you'll start to change. Reactive people focus on the circle of concern, which is actually shrinking the inner circle and making the outer circle larger because that is what you're shedding light on. So whatever you focus on becomes your reality. So if you constantly focus on your social media feed, if you focus on all the negative out there, if you focus on what other people think about you and stuff you cannot control, those things will become more magnified and that will become your life. Proactive people, on the other hand, they hear all these things, see all these things. For instance, like if they hear about the shitty political situation of our country or, stuff going on in social media or so-and-so, something's happening to so-and-so, it's like, what can I personally do about it? Can I personally, like if I don't like the current situation, am I actually voting and not just in the presidential elections, but am I voting in every single stage of the elections and actually understanding what the candidates stand for? Okay, so let me do that. Check. Now, whatever happens next, I can't control it. The economy's in some shit. Okay, when was the last time I checked on my 401k plan? Do I have a bunch of mutual funds in there where there's an exorbitant amount of fees where I'm literally losing so much money every single year just off these brokerage fees when I could honestly just invest in the S&P 500 and save myself tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, like over the next 50 years? What are people saying about me? Well, I can't control that, but how am I? How am I when I'm around people? Am I actually pleasant and happy to be around where people want to spend time with me? Or is it the opposite where people honestly are regretting that I showed up? So I can control, let me try to be kinder. Let me try to ask more questions, find out about my friends' lives and how they're doing and not just make it all about me and pretend like I'm above everyone else. So if you're proactive, you focus on the circle of influence, the things you can control, and it reduces your circle of concern. So you become less focused with the outside world because you're just proactively working on yourself and the things you can focus on. So let's go back to those things we talked about at the beginning, right? Let's say you're complaining that your kids are driving you crazy, the economy's in the toilet, your job seems like it's a dead end, or you don't have a good relationship with your spouse. Can you do something about it? What can you do about it? Again, you have a choice. You can either be proactive or reactive. You can wait till some shit happens and feel bad about the situation, or you can figure out if there's something you can actively do today to make some changes to improve your current situation. You say your kids are driving you crazy. Focus on what you can control. How much actual quality one-on-one time do you spend with them? Whenever you're with them, is the television always on? Do you have your phone in your hand? Are you in front of your computer? And are you actually giving them your undivided attention, or are you splitting their attention with your work or social media or whatever the case is? Maybe they're acting out, honestly, just because they want more of your attention. Also, I live in America, the food here is some shit. Are you looking at how much sugar is in their diet in terms of what they're consuming and when they're consuming it? Also, if they're older kids, are they on social media? What are they watching on television? Is it affecting in terms of their sleep cycle? So, what can you do about it? Spend more time with your kids. Set aside just 15 to 30 minutes. I know we're all busy. We have these goals we're trying to achieve. We're trying to pay bills. Just set aside 15 to 30 minutes. That's it. One on one time with each of your children. And just sit there and just be present. And that's honestly all they want from you. Promise you, try that. Things will get better. You say the economy's in the toilet. I feel like everyone's been saying that for the past 100 years, but sure, you say the economy's in the toilet. Focus on what you can control. How are you actually managing your finances? Can you cut back on unnecessary expenses or learn a new skill to boost your income? Action that you can take. Rework your budget. Start setting aside, if you don't already have one, set aside a little bit of money every single month to go towards an emergency fund. So that if the economy goes even worse, because I'm sure part of your concern is that what if you lose your job? Well, you should have at least 3 to 6 months set aside, depending on your living situation, for those types of situations. So if you're married with kids, 6 months salary, eventually start saving up that shit, put it to the side. No, you don't need that new truck right now. No, you don't need those new sneakers. You can kind of cut back on all you're going out and maybe go to the grocery store for a little bit, but do a couple things and you can prepare yourself for if there is a financial downturn that actually directly affects you. You say you're in a dead-end job or you're never getting a raise or a promotion. Well, focus on exactly what you can control. Have you actually clearly discussed your goals with your boss? Maybe they don't really know that you want a promotion. I've had employees plenty of times where they seem like the type of employee that they just want to come in, collect a paycheck, clock out, call it a day. They don't want to do anything above what they're expected of them. They don't want to stay later. They don't want to interact. They don't want to go to any like mixers or any sort of social events with the group. They just want to do their thing and go home. Now, if you're doing that, but you want more, how would your boss or supervisor know that you want more if you're not actually communicating that? So here's what you can do about that. You can schedule a meeting with your boss or supervisor and create a plan, right? So first, think to yourself, what is it that you want? Is it a promotion? Is it a raise? Is it how much? Is it, I want more than a 2%, I want a 5%. I want this promotion to this next level because X, Y, Z. So make sure you come prepared, write everything down, and then actually discuss them. This is your plan and this is what you want moving forward and why it is. And then once you create the plan, you've adequately communicated and you'll be working towards that promotion or that goal, and it won't seem like a dead-end job anymore. Your spouse or your wife does not support you or you don't feel like the relationship is as strong as it should be. Same thing like we talked about with your job. Have you clearly communicated your feelings? I know, really, really new concept for you fellas, right? But seriously, in all seriousness, how many times do you actually talk to them about what you're feeling? How many times are you actually telling them like, hey, by the way, I feel stressed out. Hey, by the way, when you act like this, it makes me feel like this. When I don't see this from you, this is what I'm taking that internally as, and actually having a conversation about it. For all you know, they could be thinking everything is literally gravy or everything's perfect. Or they could also think the same thing as you, but they could think that you don't want to make things better. In all reality, you actually want things to improve. And alternatively, are you taking the time to understand their perspectives as well? Action. Here's what you can do. First, fellas, seriously, stay calm. Most important thing you can do. And then the next step is just have an open conversation. Here's what we like to do. Every single week, set aside like 60 to 90 minutes and have one-on-one conversations with your significant other. And that's where you both come together. You figure out, let's say, what your concerns are. They would bring, their concerns. And then you two can sit down over dinner if you have kids, without the kids, and just have one-on-one conversations. And that's how problems get solved, through discussion. I cannot stress this enough, but you have the power. It is completely in your control. You just have to choose what you're willing to work on. Are you going to focus your energy working on the outer circle, the shit you really can't control? Or are you going to focus your energy on the inner circle, the things that you can actually control and make a difference today, literally, right now? Just remember, whichever circle you focus on will get larger. Think of this like a bank account, right? So if you focus on the inner circle, the things that you can influence, it's kind of like making deposits into your life. Every time you take proactive steps to control what you can, like let's say spending one-on-one quality time with your kids or improving your skills at work, you're investing in positive outcomes. You're putting energy into things that will grow and lead to positive results. You're making a deposit, you'll see it grow over time. However, on the other hand, focusing on the outer circle, the things that you have zero control over, is like making withdrawals. When you worry about things like the economy or other people's behavior, you're spending energy with zero return. And that's where it starts to drain your mental and emotional resources, leaving you frustrated and powerless because you're honestly not making any progress. The key is to focus on things that you can control, building yourself up and making deposits that lead to long-term growth. By ignoring the outer circle, you're saving your energy for the things that truly matter and the things that you can control that will lead to a much happier life. So, stop being a victim. There's this amazing quote by an old Stoic philosopher, and he said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not." Fellas, I wish y'all nothing but success and happiness. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Check the link in the description. We have a full community for you out there. It's on school. It's called Man Up Mindset. Would love to see you part of it. Wish y'all nothing but success and happiness. Peace.